Happy Saturday. We are back at it again with another Saturday morning market breakdown. Super excited, guys, to do another live with you guys. Definitely show some love in the chat. I really appreciate it. Let me get everything set up on here really quick. I hope everybody had a great trading week. We had some huge news this past week, and it definitely pushed the market up for sure. We're going to kind of go through that before we actually get into what the market's going to look like. So, just to give you guys an update with me, with my 50K challenge, I ended up blowing it. So it's my first blown account of 2025, although it's unfortunate. I did end up getting 2 more 50K accounts, which again on Friday I was a little bit impulsive, and I kind of over risked. So right when I got them, I ended up already being $1,000 in my daily drawdown, but that's okay. We're gonna, kind of retract, take it slow again, and try to get out of that drawdown on both of those accounts and get back to being profitable. Because again, the goal is to get funded and get a payout. So of course, I want you guys all to be along with me for that journey. So, all right. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at news really quick. So let me share my screen really quick. Let me change this up really quick. All right. All right, so let's take a look at news. So for next week, all right, so Monday, we have a federal budget balance at 2 o'clock, so I don't think that's going to move the market at all. Tuesday, USD, we have PPI pre-market, so 8:30. So definitely watch out for that because it's definitely a red folder. We could see some type of movement at 10 a.m. It's FOMC. Wednesday, we have CPI pre-market. And then, of course, we have some councilmen's speaking. So we got to watch out for that also. Because I've been noticing, guys, even though we focus on like red folders, I've noticed also the market just reacts off the news, even on like a yellow folder or orange folder. So we kind of have to just kind of watch the market and see how it moves with that, and just be mindful of that, just so we don't get caught in like a pullback, a heavy pullback or something like that. So it's always good to kind of make sure you're aware of news times, just so you don't get caught in something. All right, and then Thursday we have unemployment claims, retail sales, pre-market. So of course, again, that always moves the market. So it's with those, it's usually kind of a quick jump. So like those, I wouldn't really worry about if you're just going to trade market open, because it's going to basically correct itself and it's going to continue the trend in the direction that it wants to go, and you just got to follow it. And then Friday, we have building permits, housing starts, foreign securities purchases. That's for CAD. So I mean, there is some news, 8:30 and 9:15. So even here, I think it'll still kind of move the market a little bit. So again, just got to be mindful of that. All right, so let's take a look at gold. So here we have gold. So I mean, we can just see here, this is a 1 hour. And I mean, we just have a huge bullish trend. So I'll grab this trend line and we can literally just see the trend that it's making. It hasn't broken anywhere here. So all the way until the beginning of January, it's literally been bullish the whole time. So can we continue to see this bullish run? I believe so. Just because, like I said last week, I kind of went back to my video last Saturday and kind of predicted where I thought the market was going to go, and I did say that it could continue to push up, and it did just that. So if you guys see right here, I actually kind of marked up a liquidity area, so where it could actually be grabbed, and it has now actually tapped into that area. So I think it's going to fill that. So I think we can potentially see gold to tap into like 2758, 2760, just in my opinion. So we'll go on the higher time frame here. And you guys can see kind of what my my top-down analysis was last week. So the weekly was bullish, the daily was consolidated, and the 4-hour was bullish. So, but I usually tell you the higher time frames are usually the one where the direction is going to actually go. So this, in this particular instance, the weekly was bullish, and that's exactly what it did. So if you see this huge candle right here, let me get kind of like a circle. So just this whole area right here. This is exactly what it did. Try to move this. So this candle right here, this was literally all this week. So it just pushed all the way up. So let me see if I can move this over. Yeah, so if you guys see here, even on the higher time frame, I'll get rid of this. So we can see here, if you guys don't know how to read candles, just understanding the open and close of a candle. So because this is a bullish candle, so it literally closed up here. So what happened was that this candle actually pulled back down all the way to here, pulled all the way back up, came all the way up here, or sorry, came all the way to here about 2734, and then ended up closing right here. We actually, where we had an area of interest that we marked up at 2714. So in next week, more than likely, I have a feeling that it's going to fill this area right here. So it's going to fill this wick, and it's going to continue to tap into at least 2758. So that's kind of my thought. So granted, yes, it could continue to push down a little bit before it goes back up, but I don't think so. I think just with this bullish candle here, I think it has enough momentum to continue to push up. So that's kind of where I see gold going. So let's kind of remove all the drawings here. So, I mean, like just looking at this, kind of like all zoomed out, of course, it does look like it's kind of been consolidated, but it's been moving. So because we could kind of like box this if we really wanted to, and be like, oh, that's a consolidation. But you know, within a consolidation, you can still find moves. So again, the overall trend is still bullish. So if we're doing our top-down analysis like usual, we're going to put the weekly is bullish. So that's a given. And then we're going to go down to, of course, our daily. So daily looks a little bit consolidated still. So, because it's one of those things when you look for your top-down analysis, usually like this candle right here would have to kind of break here. It would have to break this area for me. So, and it hasn't done that. So this could be considered still bearish. So even though it is in a consolidated state, so like if we were to go like this, so again, this is all pretty much consolidation. So, because it's going sideways, you know, it pulled down, it pulled up, pulled back down, consolidated here, pulled back up, pulled all the way back down to this area, and then it's slowly rising back up. So, for just for what I think, because like I said, it pulled all the way up to here, but it couldn't go any further. It couldn't break this area right here. So of course, I'm gonna say the daily is bearish. So daily is bearish because, like I said, it didn't pass the previous this previous resistance right here. So it has to be bearish. So again, this on a daily, this is where we do our kind of our mock-up. So of course our supply and demand zones. So of course we're going to mark up, of course, the high. So I'll put a horizontal ray. So of course this is going to be our, that's going to be our major resistance. Of course, major support is going to be right here. So again, this is in a zone right now, but you know, we have to kind of look at like what it's doing. So even though we have this major support and resistance, you know, like what we have to look at what it's actually doing. So from here, just taking it from like Thursday, you know, we pulled up, we came down, we pulled back up, came down, we pulled back up. So of course this candle ended up being higher than this candle. It pulled back down, but then it pulled back up and it surpassed this candle. So of course we call that higher highs and higher lows. So when it's doing that, you can typically see the trend. So again, we'll follow the path. So of course, again, we came up, we came down, we came up again, came down, came up, came back down, came back up. So, like I said, when we see that, and oops, sorry. And if one candle, we can move this to the side, and sometimes it makes it easier. That if the next candle is higher than the previous candle, then again, that's momentum, that's a trend. So especially if it pulled back here, even though it rejected, it still can easily fulfill this area right here. It can close this wick. So again, we may have a slight pullback. So even though it tapped into right here, it could, you know, if it does, you know, I think it's going to continue to push up. But you know, we could come here, have a slight pullback, and then come back up. Maybe a slight pullback, and then it will eventually reach this area that I said. So this is the major resistance area. So that's what we have to kind of pay attention to. So again, with that being said, we're going to mark this up really quick. So this is our major resistance. Major resistance at 2801. We'll just do a easy 2800. Nice even number there. So major resistance at 2800. This is going to be a major support. Major support at 2570. I like it. We'll just make it even, 2570. All right, there we go. So you got your two zones. So if we were gonna mark this up like on a minor, so we could go down like on a 4 hour. So we can see all this bullish movement right here. So look at that, just huge bullish movement. So if we did want to mark this up, like on a minor, so we can mark up here. So because again, this is where we had to pull down, and it actually switched directions. So this could be a minor support right here. This could even be a minor support right here as well. And then of course, we're gonna just put it right here as like a minor resistance. So this is what we're looking at. So if we go back on the daily, we can kind of see where our zones are. So there we go. Oh, excuse me, my nose is running. All right, so 4 hour. So just to close out the top down, so of course it's clearly bullish because it actually surpassed this area right here, even though it closed. Even though it closed where it closed, so the 4 hour is going to be bullish. So, like I said, even though we have a daily being bearish, the weekly is bullish, the 4 hour is bullish. So again, just in my opinion, we're going to continue to see and look for buys next week. So again, even though we're in this zone right now, like we can still see like we're making moves to the upside. So again, just taking a path, you know, we can see here it came up, pulled back down, came up, pulled back down, nice push up, we pulled back down, we pulled up here, we had a slight pullback here, and then we literally pushed up all the way to here. So again, if we see that and we move this over, obviously we can see that again, the current candle or where price was, it surpassed the previous candle. So maybe not so much in this instance here, but like if I were to remove this and would have just kept this here, it would have pulled back a little bit, and then of course it pushed all the way up to here. So that's what we're looking at. So again, if we're making higher highs and higher lows, then of course the trend is being set. So granted here, and this is on the 4 hour, we could have a slight pullback right back down to this area right here, this previous support, or even maybe one of these areas. But even if it does, like the overall, like by the end of the week, it's going to be bullish. So we may have a slight pullback, but again, at the end of the day, it's the overall trend is going to be bullish. So we just have to look for those opportunities for buys, and of course you can capitalize on the sells as well. But you just got to choose one direction and kind of just look for that entry, and that's what we're going to do this week. So maybe we can even look on the hour, see what it's trying to do. So of course it's consolidating, obviously, because it was Friday. So we had a push down here, right back to this zone right here. So of course I think we're going to continue to push up, personally. So that is it for gold. So just so you guys see that, of course I think we're going to have a nice momentum to push up. So we'll see what next week holds. So that's it for gold. Let's take a look at YM, so US30. So we can kind of recap last week. So weekly was bullish, daily was bullish, 4 hour was bearish. So with this, we actually saw a lot of push downwards. So US30 actually tanked. So we pulled all the way down almost to our major support area. So anybody that traded US30, it was pretty much a bearish, it's been a bearish month so far. So my analysis on that wasn't very correct because it ended up rejecting, obviously. So like last week, we'll go to the daily. So Monday started right here. So of course we had to push down, push back up, push back down, consolidated, and then push down for news more than likely. So definitely a bearish week. So this top-down analysis, of course, didn't play out, but that's okay. So, but again, if we're looking at trend, even on the daily, again, we're looking where it's going. So of course, we had a huge push-up consolidation, and then we broke. So of course, we came down. We did come up a little bit, but we came all the way down here. We pulled up, came back down, came back up a little bit, kind of consolidated, and then we pushed all the way back down. So I think moving forward for US30, I think we're going to continue to see some sells. If it doesn't respect to this major support area, which it could very well do that just because it's respected it multiple times before. So it could continue to push down here before it pulls back up. So, because I mean, trend-wise, even though we broke this area, let's see on the weekly. Yeah, so like we haven't broken this area yet, even though we had a pull, like a nice pullback. But if we kind of zoom out, like I said, the overall trend is still bullish. So again, we could have this pullback that we have right now, but again, it could respect the support area and then continue to push back up. You know, or it could break this support area, and then of course we're going to continue to look for sells in this area, and then of course these areas here. So these lows. So, but let's clear this out. So overall trend, again, I still think is bullish because it still hasn't broken that previous support. All right, so weekly is bullish, and we're going to go down on the daily. So if we see here, of course, the daily is clearly bearish. I mean, no discussion about that. All right, daily is bearish. Reason being is because, of course, it broke here, and it almost broke here. So definitely bearish. So again, we're going to mark up support, or supply and demand, support and resistance. So of course, right here, that's going to be our major resistance, and then right here is major support. So there we go. So I'm going to move this over here, so it's a little bit more aligned. So, because when it comes to price action, we have to see where price previously has gone, and that's exactly what it's doing. Price previously tapped into here, and that's exactly what more likely it's going to do. It's going to tap into here if it doesn't surpass it. So let's get this written up. Sorry, I can't type. So major, so major resistance at 45.106. So I'm going to do 45.105. Actually, I'm just going to do 45.100. Do that. Yeah, 45.100. And then our major supports, we got 929, so we'll do 930, round up. Major supports at 41.930. All right, so we got that, and then again, for some minors, we can kind of see here. So right here would be a minor resistance. and then of course our current minor support. So there we go. So right here again, we have to look at what is price doing. So if we're looking on the 4 hour, this would be our minor areas. So of course we can come here. We had to pull up. It couldn't break. It couldn't break this area here, or even come up to here, so it rejected. So it pulled back down, pulled back up, huge push back down. We had a little pull back up, pull back down, consolidated, and then we actually pulled all the way down to here. So by looking at this, I know that's kind of funky, but again, if we move this to the side, we can see what happened. This candle was higher than this candle, or this one was lower. So of course we were making lower highs and lower lows. So this was a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we made another lower low. So again, if it's going in that direction, again, until we find an area that it supports, which could be, again, over here, we have to see if it's going to respect this area, because again, it's tapped into this area multiple times. So it could very well have a strong level of support. If not, then it's going to break this area and we could continue to see a push to the downside. So, but again, that's what we have to watch. So, but again, the way the market's been going for US30, again, we could see a continued push down. So for US30, we could continue to look for sells. So that's just my thought. So again, we can look on the hour. So on the hour, of course, we had some consolidation here. We had a push up, push down, and we need to see where this is going to go, because this could easily, because it closed up here at 22.13 or 42.213, and we could continue to see a push down next week. So because this is a lot of sellers in the market, not a lot of buyers, but more sellers again. So to close out the top down analysis, so the 4 hour is obviously bearish as well. All right. So there you have it, guys. So there's your breakdown for gold and US30. Just to recap, gold, we see it pushing up higher, so definitely going to look for buys. Not to say that you can't capitalize on any pullbacks that there may be. And then, of course, US30, I continue to see some bearish movement, so a push to the downside if it doesn't respect that support area of 41.930. All right. So that is it for this Saturday morning's market breakdown. I appreciate you guys, anybody that popped on. Of course, you guys will be able to watch this back. I love any feedback you guys can give me. You can always put a comment on the live as well, or just put a comment in there. If you guys can continue to support me, I would really appreciate it. Just like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to come to you guys with some new videos this week, just more on just trading, you know, like even maybe how to set up a prop firm, you know, stuff like that. If you want to do a prop firm challenge, even set up a regular account and what brokerages to use, stuff like that, just to kind of give you some value of any new traders out there. But you guys can always message me if you have any questions. But again, appreciate it. I hope you guys are all having a great start to the new year, and let's see some profits this week. All right, appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace.